Greetings, sailors, and welcome back to World of Warships. I don't know how it's managed to be quite this long since the last video, but it has. And I don't know if it's just a post-COVID thing generally, but yeah, I just seem to be tired a lot. And it certainly doesn't help with any creative endeavours. But that's still not that much of an excuse. It's not like I've been at work the entire time. It's just, I don't know, I'm rubbish. And, you know, I think we all know that. Somewhere in the distance, caption guy is cackling madly and saying, "I told you so! I told you so!" Anyway, I thought I would finally try and record something today, so here we are. And I'm going to take a look at the Lushun, which of course was the just finished dockyard ship. Now, anyone that has any of the premium Soviet destroyers, well, this one in particular, will think that looks awfully familiar. Yeah, it isn't quite identical to the New Tsushima, but it is very, very similar, and it is basically a theoretical what if the Chinese had built this particular project. Apparently, they built their own domestic version of the project, the Luda class, but yeah, which is sort of based on this design, but I don't know if New Tsushima itself, that Project 41, like I haven't done any actual research on this, but you know, it looks like that was at least laid down, but I don't know if it was if there was even a completed example of it. So Lushun, definitely fictional, but sort of broadly similar in that it's got good stealth, very fast pew-pew guns. The major difference, however, comes in the consumables. And the consumables are, well, unique in that it has this, a slow burn heal. It's also got the same hydro that you find on the Silivangi and the Loyang, so it's 5.5 kilometers, and has some utility elsewhere as well. I think the action time and cooldown time numbers may be very slightly different, but basically it's the same detection radii, probably. But yeah, this thing is the new thing. Heavy repair teams. It's a heal, but it lasts for an entire minute. So you have to be a bit more on the ball about when you use it. In conjunction with that, unlike New Tsushima, which has access to a fairly comprehensive set of consumables, it's got smoke, it's got very good stealth, it's got a engine boost, regular heal, and a defensive as well. Lushun really only has these two. And playing a smokeless destroyer at tier 10 is a bit of a risky business. The concealment isn't even as good, but 5.8 is still pretty decent. That's not to be complained about. There are some things that will outspot you, but not that many. But unlike New Tsushima, you do not have the option of squirting down some smoke, and it's certainly a big sidestep from the regular Pan-Asian destroyers, which have, of course, their own interesting version of smoke, where it doesn't last all that long, but it's still a decent amount of time. But the amount of time you have to wait between applications is quite a bit reduced, so it has a lot of utility. You don't have any of that, so it's actually closer to something like the Jaeger, except this has way better guns than the Jaeger. It's got a sub 2-second reload. The torpedoes are actually pretty decent in terms of their reload as well. I mean, not only does it have the 11-kilometer reach, which allows you to just about effectively skirt around quite a lot of radars, but yeah, the reload is just over 1.5 minutes. That is with a captain's skill, though, on this. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but yeah, the only special things he gets are survivability expert and demo expert, so nothing extra from Fill the Tubes, but that minus 10% obviously does make a bit of a difference. So yeah, it's interesting and it's a bit different, and unlike some of the previous dockyard ships, I mean, honestly, dockyard ships have been such a mixed bag. Some of them have just been downright not quite unusable, but some of them are definitely poor queens. You have to be in a bit of a funny mood to want to take them out because they really don't have much going for them. Others have been really, really good, like the Atlantico, for example. So this isn't at that really, really good end of things, but it seems pretty decent from the couple of battles I've played in it so far, and it's certainly, because it's this, I mean, I guess we can call it a test bed for this long heal mechanic. It's got something going for it that literally no other ship in the game has at the moment either. I can almost guarantee we will see other ships having this long heal mechanic though. So we have gotten ourselves, oh good, we have gotten ourselves a game with carriers. There's also one sub per team, which is, I mean, okay, we have the hydro, but yeah, when you don't have smoke to shield you from other destroyers, that's not maybe the most useful. It's more useful for hunting out other destroyers in smoke screens, because it does have a very usable range. It's not quite as high as your detection range, but it's not too far off. So you can counter other people getting in the cap and smoking and, you know, trying to then be invulnerable, which they are from your torpedoes because they're deep water torps, but you can hydro them and basically blast them to death with your rate of fire. And there's not that many other destroyers in the game that do have as high a rate of fire, although most of them have more guns. Much like the New Tsushima, you only have 4 barrels, so you kind of need that high rate of fire. Anyway, I will try and maybe spot the cap, but the fact that there is a CV and they're focusing this side, yeah. Oh, also, but there's 2 Lushuns, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell which they're asking, but yeah, it's going to be like in any smokeless destroyer, trying to cap is a tricky proposition, shall we say, if there's a carrier involved. So yeah, that's going to be maybe a bit interesting. Yeah, okay, let's... We don't... Like, there was a shimmer possibly coming this way. We'll dip into the cap, we'll see what happens, and be prepared to run away. Having Swift in Silence might actually be a pretty useful skill for this. This is one of those ones where you're going to have to pick quite carefully what captain skills you want to use, because there's going to be a lot of competing demands, shall we say. Right, so Z46, this is actually not what I want to see. Z46 has got their own smoke. So what we'll do, I presume you're going to smoke. I think we'll just hope our allies are a bit on the ball, although we don't really have many allies here. No, we'll just try and pull away from them. Right, the shim's in the middle there, that's interesting. Now the Z46, you know, I can't really counter them with the hydro because they have their own hydro and there's not a lot I can do about that. And here come the aeroplanes. Yes, hello aeroplanes. So that's a bit of damage taken, but that's fine. They actually tried to make a drop on them, which was cheeky. Yeah, this is not ideal. This is absolutely not ideal. Just with the A not having backup, B facing a destroyer that also has hydro, and C there also being a carrier to deal with, which is a pain in the butt. This is, like I was saying, you know, I can't really say this is at the absolutely fabulous end of dockyard ships, because it is one that can find itself in incredibly challenging circumstances which it is ill-equipped to deal with. But other times, it just has, you know, exactly the right tool set that you would want. And you really never know which is which. It's absolutely at the whim of the matchmaker. So, yeah, it's definitely a more challenging ship, I'll put it that way, than a lot of others that you might run into at this tier. Right, you have just backed out. But again, if I open fire right now, it's going to be super tricky. And, oh, well, there's the submarine as well. That's excellent. Right, time to use one of those heals, I think. I really would love to fire back right now, but there is absolutely no benefit in me doing so. I will just stay spotted by those battleships. Yeah, okay, so there we go. The heal is doing its work. You can see it really does take a fair old amount of time. I do have a bit of a problem with those incoming torpedoes there. Let's see if we can juke them. which is going to be hard when I have engine damage. But of course they lose tracking when they get close enough, so... oh, we took one. Ouch. Right, that was nasty. Yeah. So this is the absolute, like, this is not going to be most people's cup of tea. Playing a smokeless destroyer in an environment where it is all too possible for CVs to show up at any moment. Right, I'm just going to have to... This Z46 is just... It's not really a lot of choice. So here we go. When you do open fire, you absolutely can shred enemies, but it would be awfully lovely if... Like, there's no reason for this guy to be being this aggressive when he's now pushing in close to a pair of battleships that are going to be very unkeen to see them, but they're trying it anyway, so it's kind of left me with really no choice but to break stealth, open fire. Man, that enemy sun is going to be so annoying. Right, that is probably the sub that's still spotting me, or it might be the shimmer in the middle. Don't know. Let's hope we survive this next little bit. It would be lovely to go after that salmon now that the Z46 is taken care of. But I don't know if I have that luxury. It sort of depends entirely. Like, the aircraft carrier isn't... The enemy carrier isn't exclusively focusing on this flank. Oof! Ow! That was really almost very nasty. But, yeah, it just takes one plane squad to come overhead and I am absolutely... Oh, there's the shimmer as well. I am absolutely screwed. Why is the shimmer here as well? I don't know. I kind of need you to go into your smoke and not be spotting me anymore, and then you to sit still and do nothing for a minute while my hydro comes back. This is all very, very bad timing. It would also be lovely if we would get a cap, but the fact that 2/3 of our destroyers were non-smoke destroyers, that's always going to be a bad time in a thingamy match. Domination, why could I not remember that word? I don't know. Right, we might even just get close enough to see him with his firing debuff. There's no point firing my torps just now though, the shimmer will spot them going towards that Schlieffen. Okay, 20 seconds to hydro. I really hope that's... No, that's planes coming this way. Planes coming this way is not welcome. Oh, you came out the smoke, you came out the smoke. That wasn't the plan. You were supposed to sit there nicely until my hydro came, but never mind. Unfortunately... no, the Schlieffen got me. Oh, well... That was not ideal, and it was certainly very high risk, but the shimmer could not be ignored. I don't think we're winning this one, so yeah, we'll probably skip ahead to the end. The enemy team is very firmly in the driving seat at the moment. We're not coming back from this. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Im, that we are still deeply down on points, but apparently the last couple of people are just refusing to die, so... yeah, my prediction may have been completely wrong. I mean, it really did seem like there wasn't any way we were going to come back from it, but maybe? Gonna have to kill those last 3 ships, though. Because, yeah, that is a hefty points lead. We are getting the middle, which is great. The enemy carrier is still very much alive, and the enemy sub is still very much alive, both of which are going to be quite annoying. And that Schlieffen is still basically full health. So I'm not going to say we've won yet, just that this has proved to be a surprising turnaround of events. The last couple of ships decided they weren't going to collapse completely, so yeah. But I think what I said about the enemy team being in the driving seat still kind of holds true. You just look at the points difference. It's one of those ones where you know, the fight back happens, but maybe it's a little bit too late to actually affect the outcome. There's still quite a bit of time left in this one, though. So we'll see. But this Schlieffen being full health and this Zhao basically being out of position to rely on any help from allies, they might get to be unspotted. We'll see. The carrier currently has other concerns than trying to spot a Zhao, but the Zhao needs to stop firing. Ooh, I can spam. Yeah, if he keeps firing... oh! Jutland with the big play! This is Jutland might actually just be single-handedly saving this game, for goodness sake. Okay, there's the salmon. And the Amagi hopefully can do something to the Malta. Man, if we come back from this, what the heck? What the heck kind of a game was this? I don't know. But one of those games that reminds you that World of Warships can still be quite interesting sometimes, that the foregone conclusion isn't necessarily quite as foregone as you think it is. Anyway, submarine. Let's see who wins this. Point blank, they're basically like they have no time to home on, and Jutland probably using their Hydra. So hopefully goodbye salmon. Some nice tasty salmon fillets for dinner. That doesn't really work as anything, but anyway, always nice to see a submarine get sunk. So that just leaves CV and my Lushun counterpart putting the pew-pews to work. So we've won somehow. It's a little bit improbable, but this Jutland is absolutely getting a compliment, because what the hell. We should not have won that, except for those last couple of players just really digging in, especially that Jutland. What a game. Absolutely unexpected result. So yeah, look at that, Jutland over 2k. I did a respectable amount, 1200, but it wasn't enough to get me on the top half of the team. So yeah, man, what an absolute nail biter that kind of turned out to be. Not even, is nail biter even the right word? I don't know. What an absolute turnaround. Anyway, let's do one more. See if I can get some slightly more favourable circumstances for this ship's combination. Something that doesn't have quite such open cap circles would be nice. And maybe not a carrier, but I think we're not going to get any luck with that particular circumstance, given the number that are in the queue. Yeah, there we go. No subs this time, at least. So that's fine. The enemy team actually has a Van Spake. Van Spake? I don't quite know how you pronounce that, but anyway, that's a Dutch tier 9. Don't know if that is... am I looking at tips? I don't know. I don't know if that's... I think that's still a testing ship. I'm pretty sure. 3 Napolis. We do also have a Salem for me to worry about, so that's fine. But yeah, once again, the main issue is going to be air spotting. And as long as I don't get too close, Salem does have the shorter range radar. 3 Napolis and 2 Napolis on our side. I don't know if that's just a complete coincidence, but there you go, all of the Napolis. But so this is a little bit better. These are slightly more enclosed cap circles with a bit of cover. So that might work out a bit better for me, but it doesn't obviously give me any protection against planes. So yeah, here's where I wish I had a speed boost, but alas no. Right, and Akamov is coming this way. Hopefully the Napolis, like our carriers actually put down a plane here. Hopefully the Napolis AA is enough to ward them off a bit. The only upside of it being the Nakamov is that, of course, it's one and done, so it can't have planes lingering. It can try and put down fighters to spot, or it can have its strike aircraft sort of lingering around, but of course then they're not actually able to strike, so that's fine. I've also noticed the enemy 2 destroys neither of them. Well, I mean, one's another Lushun, so we can't torp each other, but the Halland doesn't, of course, have radar either, so this time maybe they're at the slight disadvantage, because we've got the Summers, which of course does have not radar, smoke, which does of course have very good smoke, so yeah. Right, I'm not sure where this guy's going, so we'll hedge our bets a bit, spread our torpedoes out a little. And hopefully we won't get spotted by anything, and if we do, we just have to run away, because yeah, I think the Napoli is not enough of a... Yeah, the Nakamura's just going to come and look, see what's capping. And the Napoli's not enough of a disincentive, so yeah. I kind of wish, like, if I was going to give this anything with it not having the smoke, I kind of wish it had the defensive the same as, of course, the Nishishimi has, which is actually kind of a useful thing. So we can kill that. It would be a slight discouragement, perhaps. And the Malta, I'm going to give them credit at least for putting down fighter cover in some kind of defensive fashion. I definitely will, while I've got enough points, I definitely will take Superintendent on this captain to get that extra heal, because Superintendent is kind of a must-have on any ship with a heal. Heals equal your ability to stay in the fight for longer, and especially when you don't have a lot of hit points going. It's sort of crucial. And ideally, you would also have the captain skill that reduces consumable cooldown as well. Like I said, there is a lot of competition for captain skills on this particular ship. Picking and choosing is going to be difficult. I mean, I just put in one of my existing captains basically to get the... because it's a special captain and I get the bonus hit points, but it kind of almost wants its own commander rather than utilising a captain from another ship, just because it doesn't really gel with other destroyer skills or other Pan-Asian destroyers in terms of its playstyle. Anyway, this Conqueror lurking at the border, we might have some luck with that maybe. I'm not sure what's going on in the chat with the Buffalo. Where even is the Buffalo? That Buffalo. I don't know why people are... Maybe just because they saw pink Buffalo and assumed that they must be playing badly, or maybe they are actually playing badly somehow in some fashion that I can't quite discern from the other side of the map. I think that's our Yamato. That's going to be the enemy Lushun capping. Which I kind of don't want to push in and counter when there's two Napolis there. We saw what their secondaries did to me. Nice, right, there's one torp hit. Where are you going? I also don't have a lot of immediate... Well, my closest help is this Kurfürst, which is 10 kilometers. And then the Mino. Right, are you just going to park behind the island? Because I think you might. I can try and disrupt the cap a bit. Maybe. What are you doing, Conqueror? Get in. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, you're maybe gonna peek around the edge there. And again, we'll spread it out a little. I think he's just trying to turn away, so I probably won't hit the Conqueror, but I may get something into the Napoli. Right, that was the enemy Lushun. He's just at the edge there. Can't really do anything to counter him. That would be a real bad idea. Oh, nice. 3 torpedoes into that Napoli. That had to hurt. That was 30 odd K damage. Yeah. Right, I can't really do much in terms of trying to be aggressive around this cap at the moment, so I'm just going to be a little more cautious. Fortunately, the planes haven't really been too much of an issue so far. Oh yeah, we really hurt that Napoli. Excellent. So yeah, there's no point trying to be too pushy, but we do need a cap because we are rather badly down on points. Again. But you know, we were last time as well, and look how that turned out. Maybe I should just go for the middle. Our Summers has died already, so that's not so good. Maybe I should go for the middle. But then that leaves the enemy Lushun free to just... Like, the only thing that can spot them then is, or counter them is the CV. So, it's a bit of an issue. Well, there goes that guy. And there's a Napoli there. Just Napoli's all over the place. Right, Salem, where are you going? It's what, 9-kilometer radar on the Salem, so... Yeah, I'm having to be annoyingly circumspect here. I really don't want to be. It's also a bit of a shame the Conqueror got to back off and print themselves at least part of a new ship. Okay, their Hallands are still very much alive and kicking, and I think possibly what's capping B. Our team, I have a less fuzzy feeling about this one. And here comes the aeroplanes. I'm probably going to get spotted. The air spotting on this is 2.9's okay. It's not too bad, but it's not great. Okay, so there we go. And now he knows he's picked me up. He's just going to fly over. Oh, are you actually going to try and make the drop? Or are you dropping on the Napoli? You're dropping on the Napoli. Okay. But I still have to have my AA on to deal with these fighters. Also, another torpedo hit. Nice. That was on the Salem, I think. Right. Hey, there's the Van Spake. Not 100% entirely sure, but there you go. It's Dutch and it's tier 9. Yeah, we really need to like keep killing things. We're a little behind on kills. The key to the other game was that I don't think the enemy team, like, they really got ahead on points, but they didn't get super ahead on kills. So map control was very firmly in the other team's favour for a lot of the match, but yeah, they just they didn't have the overwhelming numbers. Oh, hello, that's Hallentorps. That's Hallentorps. Ah, because they move so fast. That's a pain. Okay. Okay, well, we'll pop a heal. Well, I had no way of knowing the Halland was, like, I suppose I could have had the Hydro running. I don't know if that would have necessarily felt like a good... I guess we'll ping it off now, because the reload on those torpedoes, of course, is not insignificant. Or it's a quick reload is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to get myself spotted again, aren't I? If he's coming for the Napoli. Right, again, CV's ruining the fun of a smokeless destroyer. Like, when you're playing a smokeless destroyer, you really are absolutely at the mercy of the matchmaking. I think that's going to be off-putting for a lot of people. Same with the Jaeger, really. Same with any of the other smokeless destroyers. The least affected, I guess, are the Swedes. But yeah, they can still be somewhat affected. So yeah, that's Hallentorps. Not going to be able to thread the needle, of course. They just move so fast. This is not a super reactive ship. Oh, hello, Halland. There you are. Right, let's see who wins. Neither of us gets to have a smoke screen, so this is just straight up. Yeah, also I mean, I'm going to die here, because I'm close enough to that Napoli that the secondaries will kill me even if I get the... Yeah, okay. We got each other. That's about the best result one could hope for. So, I don't think we're coming back from this one, sadly. I did get to do more damage. But, once again, yeah, the limitations meant that I was less effective than I would have been in something with smoke, I think. And also it would have helped if the team was a bit better overall. This was a much more one-sided game. But nearly 100k damage, I'll take it. So yeah, it's an interesting ship to play, but just the nature of it, I think that kind of keeps it from being a sort of fun all the time ship to play. It's more of a hard work ship than anything else, especially in circumstances like these. Definitely going to be possible to have enjoyable games in it, but not with any amount of consistency. So, I mean, as far as dockyard ships go, it's one of the more interesting ones, but it's certainly arguable that it's one of the more fun ones, or isn't one of the more fun ones. Not because its stats are bad, but just that lack of smoke or a defensive. But as a test bed, it's an interesting idea to have that long running keel, and like I said, I'm absolutely certain we will see that on some other ship, or maybe some other line of ships in future. So that is it for this video on the Lushun. Yeah, at least my internet behaved while I was recording this time, so that's a bonus. Yeah, that's my excuse why I didn't do a video for like a week. It was purely my internet provider's fault, and not that I'm crap, no. Anyway. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this though, and if you did, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video, including leaving your own impressions of Lushun if you did grind through the event. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.